full freedom. So there is I will say, enough room for creativity. Then if that creativity is there, innovativeness is there.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for taking time and joining us in the conversation. It's truly an honor to have you here.
Yes.
Beginning with the podcast, first thing first, I would like to ask you, what made you choose pharmaceutical chemistry as a department?
In fact, to be very honest, I had missed my MBBS admission by 3 or 4 marks, and then that was definitely at the back of mind. But then I was informed by my friends that there is a course in UDCT, then now ICT, related to the field of medicine. So during all the 3 years of BSc, study was definitely at par with 12th standard, and then if I recollect correctly, I was fourth in the university. So getting into pharma branch was not at all a problem, and that was a branch of my choice because that 3 years back I had missed the admission to MBBS. It was always lingering behind me. That ensured me that now I am at the right place. At that time, the department was called as Department of Pharmaceuticals and Fine Chemicals.
Okay.
So we have also got the degree as BSc Tech in Technology of Pharmaceuticals and Fine Chemicals. Now the department name has been changed, and the course is also now after the 12th standard. So this is BTech in Pharmaceutical Chemistry and Technology.
So as you said, eventually destiny brought you to the right career path.
Yes.
And also your journey as a student, how actually it influences your teaching style and philosophy, and if you can recollect an incident that reshaped your career.
In fact, we were taught by one of the best organic chemists of the country, Professor S.K. Pradhan. He was an excellent teacher, and probably that attracted me to the pharmaceutical chemistry because I pursued my PhD directly from National Chemical Laboratory in pharmaceutical organic chemistry. So chemistry fundamentals were very much clear at BSc Tech level, particularly at second year BTech. Then we had PharmChem 2 taught by Professor none other than Professor S.K. Pradhan, an excellent teacher par excellence.
So this shows that you need a good professor to teach.
Probably whatever I teach pharmaceutical chemistry, there are some traits which I have definitely taken from Professor S.K. Pradhan that I can tell very humbly.
Oh, okay. And did you always think of working in academics, or was it a shift from the industry?
No. In fact, academics in 2014, when I have decided to take a U-turn to academics, it was totally accidental. I had in fact came to ICT for the Viva exam of one of the students. Then that time I was informed that the professor post is likely to be advertised in near future. I can keep a watch on that, and in case I am interested, I can join. So that information then definitely was lingering in my mind. And then after about 1 year or so, I think the advertisement was there. By the time I had changed the tracks to academics from industry, and I was working with UPL's Prof Rotary Institute of Chemical Technology at Ankleshwar. Probably that 2 years training at, I will say, SRICT probably helped me in my selection here at ICT. It was the second time I entered ICT on merit.
Oh. Okay, sir. So since you've been in the industry for quite a lot of years, what do you think has been the trend of the pharmaceutical industry? How has it evolved?
Initially, the industry was in the hands of multinationals, and later on in 1970, when Mr. Gandhi's regime and the product patent was abolished, it saw the birth of Indian pharmaceutical industry in the real sense. Many Indian pharmaceutical companies, because of reverse engineering, they made an entry into the Indian pharmaceutical world, and then they quickly grasped the chemistry as well as the formulation technology, so that they can file number of drug master files and abbreviated new drug applications. So it was basically a reverse engineering, but then that saw that the industry grew like leaps and bounds. And then again, when we have now signatory to WIPO or WTO, now we are honoring the patents. But by that time, some of the industries have already ventured into the drug discovery part of it. So we are all looking forward to see a API developed in India. So that is an innovator company. But there are some challenges with some industries later on perceive this as a white elephant, and they have gone out from that arena of drug discovery. Some players are still there. Let's hope that one API will definitely come from India soon.
Okay for that.
And so, what are the key milestones during your tenure as the head of department?
First is MBA for BPharm, BTech, and MTech. So the accreditation is for 6 years. Most importantly, NIRF ranking. I have spearheaded the department for 6 years and 1.5 years as the in-charge HOD. If you recall, right from 2017 when we started participating, 2017-18 was I was not HOD, and then throughout we have been, as far as pharmacy is concerned, we are the only institution in Maharashtra to have NIRF ranking in single digit. This year we are 5th, last year we were 5th, prior to that we were 7th, prior to that we were 5th, prior to that we were 4 times 4th. So this is the only institute in Maharashtra with NIRF ranking NIRF ranking in single digit. Then classroom renovation for main lab, pharmaceutical biotechnology lab, pharmacology lab. So with the generous participation from industry, these labs have been refurbished. And also we have recently refurbished the pharma conference room so that it is now state-of-art pharma conference.
So, just you mentioned some of the labs, pharmaceuticals lab, pharmacology lab, those were innovated. So that leads me to the question that what are the trends in the pharmaceutical industry in the future that you are quite excited about?
One is our syllabus should have now some little more focus on biotechnology. We have molecular biology and biotechnology, but keeping in pace with the world, globally it is seen nowadays that that day is not far from that you will have personalized medicine. So some amount of biotech or biotech related subjects should get added in the syllabus, and then some of the subjects have to make those who are become obsolete that they are hardly about 10%, but then or we have to reduce their importance. But then 1 or 2 subjects pertaining to biotech or molecular biology, wherein we can encompass monoclonal antibodies or biosimilars. So that should be part of it.
That's nice. So we see biopharmaceuticals.
Some biopharmaceuticals should be, because that is the future.
Yeah, nice. Talking about ICT, what do you think sets ICT apart from other institutions?
First is whoever wants to work, there is a full freedom. So there is I will say, enough room for creativity. Then if that creativity is there, innovativeness is there. So innovation, creativity, inclusivity. And then certainly, particularly the undergrad students, those who are coming for bachelor's degree, are definitely the cream of the society. So their IQ level is far superior. So even when I go to teach any undergrad course, I am thoroughly prepared. Of course, that does not mean for masters I don't prepare. But then, particularly for the undergrads, it is my experience that the number of questions asked are more in the undergrad course than the post-graduation course. So you cannot take your teaching lightly for sure, because you are talking to the cream of the society.
And so you just mentioned creativity and innovation, which again comes up with the idea of extracurricular activities. So what do you think? How exactly does the extracurricular activities help in our career?
See, NEP has given the good amount of weightage to co-curricular as well as extracurricular activities. But I always tell as a student, whenever I was when I was head of department and when I was addressing the BTech and BPharm students, so I always used to tell that extracurricular activities or co-curricular activities is definitely a must. Because when you will leave ICT after 4 years, you will be a different personality altogether. But at the same time, one should not forget that he has come here for education. So my mantra of extracurricular and co-curricular is 15% and curricular is 85%. If that is not adhered to and if it exactly reverses, finally the student will emerge out as a good event manager rather than a good student.
So a good balance is needed between extracurricular.
Yeah, perfect balance has to be there. And then I have found 2 or 3 students in your seniors were there. They were so particular about their extracurricular activities that at 7:30 they will keep their badminton racket down. They will go to hostel. They will take a shower or and then they will come to for the dinner. By 8 o'clock, 8:30 they are for the studies. But 5:30 to 7:30 were their extracurricular activities with respect to sports. But then they never played even after 7:30. They were very particular. So some of the students follow the regular timetable and if you adhere to that timetable, only thing I can say is success is yours.
Yes,
That
definitely.
makes sense. Coming to the next part, what is one advice that have always remained with you through all the years and you would like to share it with others?
Be focused and you have to plan your things well in advance because even my course curriculum when I teach irrespective of any course I always look at the right side of the syllabus where the hours are mentioned. Of course some flexibility is there, flexibility should be taken, but then you are addressing that course to whom, that is also very important. So and then you have to stick to that timetable around because that hours have been specified deliberately by taking some amount of extra thinking has definitely gone. So I always sometimes some extra lectures are definitely required depending on because every year the class to class average intelligence is different. So accordingly you have to take a judicious call. Some extra lectures are there. Sometimes extra lectures are not required because the class is really good. But if that is not the case, then you have to take some extra lectures. But then within this, you have to take that flexibility into account that if 7 lectures are there allocated for that, at best you can stage up to 9 or if certainly you cannot minimize to 3 because that is very much important. But if your planning is perfect, then you can complete the syllabus in totality. And I'm sure you can ask my past students because I always take that end semester feedback. So where the one line is there, whether the portion was covered to 100%, and up till now, no student has said no without 100%.
So now moving to the next segment with some funny and interesting questions. If not pharma, what career path would you have been chosen?
If it is in BTech, maybe probably foods.
Okay.
We know you as a professor, but in your personal life, what are your hobbies or?
I do watch good Marathi drama, that is Marathi Natak. Generally on Saturdays or Sundays, either Saturday or Sunday, I do listen by going to the Dadar Matuma Cultural Center for Hindustani classical music or semi-classical music. I'm not that fond of pictures because when I was doing my PhD at NCL and IICT of Hyderabad, I have seen lot of movies every Friday and Sunday. But if there is a good movie, then I'm not averse to it. But then drama is very close to my heart.
And sir, if you could just go back in time, what would be that one advice that you would like to give to your younger self?
Stay focused.
So your entire journey at ICT, doing BSc Tech, then again coming back as a professor, how would you describe that in just one sentence?
Definitely on merit.
That's a good one.
So then, if you could get a chance to have a dinner with any of the celebrity, any of the scientist or a researcher, who would it be?
I will definitely like to take, well, now he is no more, but Professor B.D. Tidak, who was earlier associated with the ICT as Professor of Digestive Technology, and then later on became the Director of National Chemical Laboratory, the longest regime any director had in NCL. He was an excellent organic chemist. I only had few interactions, one or two interactions, but he was at the fag end of in fact, life, I will say, not the career, because he was, when I met him, he was more than about 80. Then certainly I was told that particularly the azar chemistry and sulfur chemistry was excellent, and dial as well as the some of the synthetic organic chemistry. I would have loved to have dinner with him.
That's nice. What is your guilty pleasure snack or activity you do when you need a break from work?
Break from work, then I generally go out to my native place
Okay.
along with my family, and at that time I don't drive, so we go by a hired car
Okay.
to Kolhapur first, and then on the way back to my native place. We spent about 4-5 days staying in a resort, and it's definitely good.
Nice, a balance between professional and personal life.
And sir, if you could share the one aspect of yours that most of the people just don't know,
Just don't know very, very. In fact,
or it is lesser known.
many students perceive me as a taskmaster or headmaster, but actually, those who are close to, who have happened to be close to me, they know that it is not. Generally, they get an impression, but of course, I am. I don't like nonsense being done in the class, or so I am a taskmaster. But at the same time, if you are good, then I am best.
Okay, I'm coming to the last question of the segment. If you were to write an autobiography, what would the title be?
That is really a puzzling question. A journey in pharmaceutical world, both academic and industry.
Oh, that makes
That
sense.
makes sense, sir.
Yeah, that is it, sir. Thank you
Okay,
so
thank
much.